Hello and welcome to my hero applies attempt to imitate a link card from atop the fourth wall of this book. You Have Yourself a Deal by James Haley Chase. And unlike the Joey Pizza, this really isn't a children's book. There are many things in it that aren't kid-friendly, but according to one of the commenters on my Joey Pizza rant review, any book that a 9-year-old can get to their hands on and read counts as a children's book. So read if you want. Remember, if you read something, if you see something, or read something in there that makes you say, "Oh my eyes, I didn't want to see that. I tried to warn you." Basically, I have it all written down. All written down my review of James Lee Chase's "You Have Yourself a Deal." Don't really have no book with me because, basically, I had to give it back to my taxi driver. So, yeah, but I remember it. Read it out, wrote down what was in it. You know, yeah. Now we're going to look at it. Let's look at it. But now, on to the review. James Lee Chase books can be really great spy thrillers. Books like Hidden Where It Hurts and No Organized Blandish are bursting with excitement as you read about how the good guys and the bad guys jockey for position as they restore the finish. Heck, No Organized Blandish was so good it got turned into a movie. It's called The Grissom Gang. It's called The Grissom Gang. Debate on whether it's as good as the book. It's for another time. Although from what I saw, it's not looking good. Anyway, the problem with this book is that there's too much going on. Instead of two sides duking it up, there's three. The CIA, who are our good guys, the Russians, who are our main bad guys, and the Chinese, who are our minor bad guys. I say minor because they're always seem to be one step ahead. Sometimes behind. Go on. Be one step behind. Read the script, yes. Now I can understand why all these countries are involved in this story. The girl they're after has valuable information, but the way they did things was not as good as it could have been. The lack of focus is apparent right off the bat. The good guys do something, then the main bad guys do something, and then the minor bad guys do something. And on it keeps going like that throughout most of the book, except for one part of the book, which is my favorite, by the way. Remember that. Now, our story begins just after the Vietnam War. Although there isn't much talk about it in the story, it is an important thing to know. And in true Haley Chase fashion, we aren't introduced to our hero until a quarter of the way through the book. Boy, we make someone who would have worked just fine. His name was O'Halloran, a good-sized Irishman with a sun-tanned face and irresistible charm. He flirts with the cute secretary, and she flirts back, and then he goes to talk to his boss, who is also the head of the branch of the CIA. His name is Dowry or something. But he reminds me of Gary Oldman's commissioner, Gordon from the Nolan Batman movies, so I'm going to call him the commissioner from now on. Anyway, O'Halloran tells the commissioner that the main plot of the story. A young white woman was found unconscious on the street and was taken to a hospital where they found out she has amnesia, so she can't tell who she is. But she also has a tattoo on her body of Chinese lettering. The commissioner's Chinese contact confirms that it's the name of one of China's top weapons specialists, Kung, a man who likes to put his name on everything he owns. Needless to say, if she was one of the things he owned, she could know some things about him that no one else does. So the commissioner, in his infinite wisdom, tells O'Halloran to go get this other guy, because he's the best man for the job. And that's basically it for O'Halloran in this story. He does appear a few more times, but he doesn't really do much. And now we get to meet our real hero. Ladies and gentlemen, I guess his name is Gerland, but I'll just call him our hero for the most part. He's an average-sized man who I imagine looks like AJ from Philly Opera, with no eyes, because that's just awesome to me. He was a good agent, but something happened that made him quit. And now he lives in a crappy apartment while trying to make a living as a freelance photographer, mostly because he can use it as a pickup line to convince young women to spend the night with him. Unfortunately, the story, I work my own handwriting here. Unfortunately, he's not having the best of luck with that right now. Shocking, I know. Anyway, he's roused out of his stupor by a knock at the door. He opens it, and two very large guys force their way in. They're two of O'Halloran's men, and they tell him that the boss of the CIA wants our hero to come over to the office right now. Our hero knows that they aren't just big bruisers, but they are also armed and dangerous. So he has no choice but to go. He puts on his raincoat, because he likes to rain a lot in James Haley Chase books, and locks up his apartment, because he probably ain't going to get back there for a long time. And then He's escorted down the hall, with one guy in front and one the other behind. When they get to the stairs leading down, our hero says he has to tie his shoes. So he kneels down in front of our goo number one, and then, as quick as a flash, rises up and causes the guy to fall down the stairs. He then whirls around to face goo number two, who's in the middle of taking a swing at our hero's head. He ducks under the punch and smashes his fist into the goon two's gut, causing him to fall to his knees. And then he walks down to where the CIA building is. Flush with the secretary.
Fall back on Sunday, Saturday. Fall back an hour.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then morning.
Right. Should be a problem. I got cell phones that should.
Go to the real time?
Yeah, they'll do it. They should. First, the secretary, and then goes into the commissioner's office to ask him what the heck is going on. Now, as you can see, our hero can more than handle himself. A fact that will pay off later, but like with many other things in this book, it won't be as good as it could have been. Anyway, after our hero asks the commissioner why he wanted him to come back, after he told him to drop dead, our boss tells him about the girl, and girls about the girl. Shows him a photo of her that reminds me of Veronica from the appearance with her hair down, and then shows him a picture of her tattoo that explains why it's important. Our hero then asks how he can possibly help in the situation, and the commissioner tells him he's going to pretend to be your husband. Our womanizing hero is naturally pleased with this turn of events, and then is even more pleased to learn that he'll be given the keys to the commissioner's vacation home. Yeah. Trying to keep it under 15 minutes. Let's have it. The first time we did this, it was I did it with, we just ad-libbed it, and it went on for 50 minutes. The second time I had bullet points, I wrote out some bullet points about different parts of the story, and it went on for longer than 50 minutes, strangely enough. So we're just going to read from this, from our review we wrote down, and see what happens. Let's go. So he'll, have a cozy place to live, while he tries to get the information out of her in whatever way he can. Our hero gratefully accepts the mission, and then starts haggling for money. Boss, if I'm going to be her rich husband, I've got to have at least 10,000 francs so I can buy her clothes and stuff. The boss says he's getting 2,000 francs, and he's lucky to get that. Oh yeah, we're in France. Not that it has anything to do with anything, other than the money, of course. Also, this may be a strange thing to talk about, but our hero is also desperate for money, a fact that will make things super annoying later. And so, with his money, awesomely forced paperwork, and homing device pill in hand, our hero makes his way to the hospital, where the girl is staying. And now we go to the main villains of the story, the Russians. One of James A. Chase's strengths is making even minor characters have some depth to them, and now we have one such case. Our main Russian bad guy, whose name is Malik, is walking around the downtown area and looking into shops. Yeah, I definitely ripped this out pretty quick. So there's like parts where things aren't, what's the term? What's the term? I'm trying to figure out. The wrong not apostrophe. I'm trying to figure out what is the stuff at the end of this? I gotta read or refresh a course some English or something, because it's like it's not done, marked. Let's say marked right. Marking things are the right marks are where they're supposed to be. Let's see here. Okay. No, anyway, let's see here. He's walking down the downtown area, looking into shop windows and longing to buy the things he sees in them. He is also longing to go after the cute girl that just passed by and sweep her off their feet in the way only a Russian man can. Man, that light was awesome. Unfortunately, he decides against it because he has a duty to his country as a secret agent, and because his superiors are watching. So, he makes his way back to his copy apartment and gets his orders to go and get the girl. And now we move on to our third faction of main characters in this book, the Chinese. Thankfully, they aren't racist stereotypes. There we go. But what we get still isn't that good. Our main Chinese bad guy is a young man named Sadhu, who hates America because his dad, who may have been an American soldier, had a little fling with his mom and probably left her once he found out he was pregnant. Once he found out she was pregnant with him. I can understand that, but then we read about his girlfriend slash boss, Pearl. She hates America because they bombed her village in the Vietnam War, and that killed her family. So now we have a main Chinese bad guy because he's constantly thinking he's in over his head because he's nowhere near as committed to messing up America as his girlfriend slash boss is. Then we meet our third Chinese bad guy. He's a professional assassin, but he has the worst name ever, Jojo. No matter what you look like, you can't be intimidating if your name is Jojo. Okay, maybe you can be. Maybe you can, but you're scary enough. So what does our guy Jojo look like? Well, they use the words small and weasel-like to help describe him, so no, he's not intimidating at all. Anyway, they get their orders to go out and kill the girl before anyone else can get to her. And so now we have our first meeting of all the main characters, ladies and gentlemen. Well, sort of. All our main character agents will be at the hospital to get the girl. But right away, you see how lopsided the conflict will be. The Russians are... Nothing. Yeah. You see how lopsided the conflict will be. The Russians are well prepared. They got U.S. Army uniforms, a doctor's outfit, a vial of sedative, a gurney, and even an ambulance to drive around in, as well as the normal small firearms you'll need, just in case things went wrong. And you guys already know about a hero's loadout, so I won't be repeating it until it actually comes into play. But I will say this will definitely come in handy. Now, let's look at our Chinese agent's loadout. Saru has owns a compact car, and Jojo has a knife. And that's it. Yeah, it's all looking good for them. And now it's time for play-by-play. The Russians get there first and are already in their army uniforms. They park the ambulance in a spot that doesn't draw suspicion. And Malik or this other guy named Smirnov. They both look, in my opinion, Smirnov, who both look like Hulk and Jay Leno's to me, are very either one. I think it's Smirnov. Smirnov was the one who introduced to Malik, who actually had some depth to him. They was like, oh yeah, this other guy is Smirnov. Check him out. He works for Malik. He's important, I guess. And middle manager. Smirnov is the one that does it. Like Hulk and Jay Leno. He's very impressive in his colonel outfit as he walks in the front door. Now, the Russians not only have the best loadout, they have the best info too. They know that the commissioner has a soldier standing guard outside of the girl's room. And narration said he thought that would be enough. But with Malik, with these guys, there is never enough. So I thought he was going to Hulk smash this guy. But he didn't. What he did instead was even better. The Russians also knew that a U.S. general was on the same floor as the girl, and that was their way in. A hulking Russian bad guy walks up to the soldier, standing guard, and puts his plan into action. He asks the guy where the general is, and he nervously tells him that he's down the hall. The soldier is nervous because the book tells us that though dedicated, he starts sweating bullets when dealing with people of higher rank. So our colonel starts walking toward the general, but then says, "Dang it, old soldier, I forgot to bring up the file I wanted to have the general about. Could you go and go to my jeep and get it for me?" "But sir, I was ordered to guard this girl." "Oh, did you see me?" "Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I heard a clicking noise." "Oh, did you see me standing here?" Like, "Yes, sir." "Wait, where is your jeep?" "I'm going to go out the front door and to the left. You can't miss it. Also, there are 2 guys in there, and they'll help you find what I need." Okay, basically, yeah, this is basically all going to be basic. Basically, what he said, sometimes it'll be exact because I did some quotes from book. There were other times where I didn't do quotes from book. Okay, so but basically, this is the gist of the book. Okay, so let's go. Spoilers. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, well, 2 guys in there, and they'll help you find what I need. Yes, sir. So off the soldier went down the elevator and out the front door and to the left to the chief with the 2 guys in soldier uniforms in it. He asks them for the file the corporal needs. Whatever his name is. Well, the guy needs. The guy sitting closest to him turns away like he's greeting or something. Our soldier leans in to get hoping to get the file, but all he gets is a savage hook punch to his jaw, knocking him out instantly. Our 2 soldiers then get out of the jeep. The real soldier, pick the real soldier up, tie the real soldier up, and hide him somewhere where he won't cause trouble. They then prepare to bring up the gurney so they can get the girl out with no trouble. Meanwhile, our hero arrives and prepares to smooth talk his way past the front desk. He saw the Russian's ambulance but it was parked at a hospital, so he didn't seem strange at all. He's successful in convincing the front desk people to let him pass, partially because of his expertly forged papers, and partially because of his charm. But a cute young nurse who looks like Tootie from Family Appearance, to me, decides to tag along, continuing to insist that the girl should not have visitors yet. The way these 2 characters will eventually play off each other. These are some of my favorite scenes in the whole entire book. Remember that too. Now, our hero, Jenny, name is Jenny, with a G, make their way up to the girl's room. Malik, Smirnov has already put on his doctor's lab coat and prepared the sedative. He walks into the girl's room just as she's starting to wake up. She asks him who he is, and he just says, "Oh, it's just your induction. You need plenty of sleep." The girl, whose name is Erica Olsen, by the way, allows him to stick her in the arm with a syringe with a scientific in it. Right after he does this, our hero and Nurse Jenny walk in. At first they think he's a doctor, but then our hero sees that he's wearing army pants underneath his lab coat. He gasps and about to rush our main villain, but it's too late. He has to freeze because now he's staring down the barrel of a small but deadly gun. A little bit wordy there. Our hero then notices something else. He's seen this guy before. Smirnoff, is that you? Like, well, yes it is, girl, into it. Well, I thought you were dead. That building did blow up with you still in it, right? He's like, heck, you weren't the only one who got a helicopter right out of there. Oh, so that's how it is. So that's how. Turns out, these guys have a history together. That's nice. That really helps us in a better story than this one. Anyway, our villain tells her hero not to try anything funny or use his gun. Then he orders our hero and the nurse to help his henchman put the girl on the gurney that was just rolled in to the room. They have no choice but to obey, but our hero does manage to get the tiny, only device pill into the girl's mouth while no one is looking. Smirnoff then tells our hero, and where are we? 16. Alright, well, see you next time.